senior night. Your birthday? That's not, no. You're supposed to be here at the School of Hard Knocks. We're gonna start the show. What do you mean? No. You know what? Get over here as soon as possible. This is Lopez 450 Splash. Mad Mike celebrating his birthday. It's not even his birthday until, you know what? It's not worth it. I'm gonna go in. You guys can follow me if you want. I'm out. Lopez 450 Splash. Behind the scenes here at the School of Hard Knocks. Come on in, follow me. This is Lopez 450 Splash. As you can see, Mad Mike's still not here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do something that I normally don't do, and I'm gonna bring in Jesse Hernandez. We're here at the School of Hard Knocks. Jesse, welcome back to the 450 Splash.
My pleasure, Lopez. My pleasure, brother.
Muchas gracias, muchas gracias. Jesse, I've been told that your school is probably one of the best top-notch schools here in the Inland Empire as far as wrestling goes.
Well, you know, it's one of the best schools that I know of personally, and it's one of the longest running schools in Southern California.
The love of the business, what got you into wrestling and training?
Well, what got me into wrestling, I really never thought about it. You know, I think the thought was there, but I never thought that I would become a professional wrestler. Seriously, never entered my mind. By chance, I was good friends with Hector Guerrero when he was out wrestling here in San Bernardino years and years ago. And one time, him and I were talking in the lobby there at the old San Bernardino Arena. And this gentleman walked by, Juan Hernandez, who later turned out to be my tag team partner. And he asked Hector if he knew of any wrestling schools. And Hector says, well, the only school I know is my father's in Juarez. And, you know, he's got a school in Juarez and El Paso or whatever. And, the other kid's response was, well, you know, I trained, not with him, but I trained amateur. And in Mexico, before you train to become a professional wrestler, you got to go through the amateur training. And then, you got to put years into this stuff, you know, not like here, you know. And so, so he applied a couple of years into that, but never entered the professional level. And so, with that in mind, that gave me the idea that, well, he's at least trained something, you know, train a little bit. And I told him, I said, you know, I could use the exercise. Why don't you and I get together and train, you know? We'll go head on down to the YMCA or whatever and just find a place to train. And it took him about a month, and he finally got back with me, and we started training twice a week, every week. We did that for a whole year. And in between all that, we kept asking Goliath, you know, because he was local out here out of Colton, if he could come by and check us out. He never did. He said, oh, I will. And he never did. Eventually, we had the permission to do the old, to actually train at the old San Bernardino Arena, you know, through some friends of ours. And so we started training there. And then finally Goliath came down. And he took a look at us and just shook his head, you know. He had us do a little match and, shook his head. This is how you hit, boom. And, you know, and he told us, if you want me to train you, I'm going to charge you, you know, so much. I think he charged us like $15 each, you know. Back then, probably a lot of money. So anyway, we put in a whole year with Goliath before we actually had our first match. So in reality, we trained 2 years. And our first match was in Tijuana against Rey Mysterio Sr. and Pequeño Apolo. And we wrestled as the Friars with a mask. And let me tell you, what an exciting match that was, you know. I think we were well prepared. Unlike some of the kids nowadays, they go through a few training sessions and they want to start wrestling. You know, it takes a little longer. You gotta really train hard and know what you're doing, you know. And that's why I take pride in my guys. I don't turn them loose until I feel that they're ready, you know. And I think one of the main reasons that I have a wrestling school right now is to make it easier for those young guys to be able to have a place to train. Not only that, but also the Empire Wrestling Federation comes in where it gives them a platform for them, my students, to have their first match in, you know.
Well, you've trained a lot of good wrestlers, including Chris Masters, Molina.
Well, no, I didn't. The guy that trained Chris Masters was one of the guys that I trained was Tom Howard. Tom Howard trained. I trained Tom Howard. and he in turn trained Cena, Masters, and a few other guys. But those are guys that I trained, like Tom Howard, for example. Eventually, guys like Frankie Kazarian, Rico, they all came from this school.
Well, Jesse, always a pleasure. Thank you. Next time Mad Mike will be here, probably do a better interview than I did. Thank you.
Man. All right.
This is Lopez, 450 Splash. I'm out. What's going on, guys? This is Lopez with a 450 Splash. I know you guys are used to seeing Mad Mike in front of the row. Unfortunately, Mad Mike's being Mad Mike. He's just gone. He disappeared. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Joshua Dunbar. We're here at the School of Hard Knocks. Josh, welcome to the show.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
A little bit about you. How'd you get into the business?
It's actually kind of an interesting story. I was given a souvenir signed by Goldberg, who actually informed me about Jesse Hernandez. Okay. And from there, it was pretty much just I called him up, started training, and been addicted ever since.
What's the most excruciating pain about training with Jesse Hernandez and here at the School of Hard Knocks?
That's easy. One of the most frightening phrases you'll ever hear uttered in this school is, "Brother, let me show you something." And that means that boss saw something, that it sprung something in his head, and he'll take you in a heartbeat, tie you up in a knot, and you don't even know what's going on until it's done. And that's the most excruciating pain you'll ever see, because he just gets in there and has fun with it, and it kind of knocks you around on a regular basis.
Right. One more question, and that's the business view. Where do you see it going, and where wrestling is at right now?
I think that where it's at now is a far cry from where it started. Some good, some bad. But for the most part, it's still a business built on respect, and even the guys that you don't always get along with, you got to respect them as warriors in that ring. So where it's going, honestly, I'm as excited to find out as anyone else. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Dunbar, 450 Splash, Lopez out.
Aaron Gobra.
Lopez behind the scenes, School of Hard Knocks, the 450 Splash. I'm out.